This explainer isn't about collecting more random information. Nope, it's about building a practical map, a framework for understanding reality itself, all based on the philosophy of the Kybalion.
So let's start with a feeling I bet you know well. You've got access to all the books, articles, and life hacks in the world, but there's no real framework connecting them, right? It's kind of like having 1,000 puzzle pieces scattered on a table, but you've lost the picture on the box.
So together, we're going to build that map. We'll look at why a framework is so key, then we'll walk through the 7 universal laws that make up its core. And we'll finish up with how you can start using this map in your own life, like today.
First up, let's get into why having an underlying operating system for your thoughts is so much more powerful than just collecting more facts. You know, a single principle can organize hundreds of different ideas.
And that's really the core idea here. This philosophy suggests that just a few universal principles, not 1,000 different techniques, are the real foundation for self-awareness and actual change. They're like master keys that can open any door.
All right, so let's dig into why starting with principles is so important. Think of it like building a solid foundation for a house before you even think about putting up the walls. That structure makes every other tool you use way more effective.
And this breaks it down perfectly. Techniques, that's the what, they can change, they come and go. But principles, that's the why. They're timeless. They give everything you do a solid, stable foundation because they apply everywhere and give context to your actions.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it. Let's dive into the 7 universal laws that form the core components of our map of reality.
The very first one, and it's the foundation for all the others, is the principle of mentalism. The idea is that the universe is essentially mental, that everything we see and experience is, at its core, a creation of mind.
And here's a great way to think about it. Your mind is the projector, and the world you perceive is the image on the screen. This means we aren't just passively watching a movie, we're actively creating our experience of it.
Next up, we have the principle of correspondence. This just means that the same patterns repeat themselves on every level of reality. As above, so below. The laws that govern galaxies are reflected in the laws that govern an atom, or even our own thoughts.
And this is so empowering when you think about it. It means that by studying what we know, our own inner world, our own patterns, we can start to understand the much bigger picture. If you want to understand the universe, you can start by understanding yourself.
The third principle is vibration. It's simple. Nothing ever stands still. Everything is in constant motion, constantly vibrating. What we think of as different things, like a rock, water, or even a thought, are really just different frequencies of vibration. So the takeaway here is that our moods and mental states aren't fixed. They're just vibrations. And just like you can tune a radio to find a new station, you can learn to consciously shift your own mental frequency from one state to another. Number 4 is the principle of polarity. This one tells us that opposites like hot and cold or love and hate aren't actually separate things. They're just two ends of the very same spectrum. They only differ by degree. Courage and fear, same scale, different ends. The fifth principle is rhythm, and you see this everywhere. Everything has its tides, its seasons. There's a pendulum that swings back and forth in all of life, from the economy to your own energy levels throughout the day. Knowing this helps you navigate those ups and downs. Sixth is the principle of cause and effect. This is a big one. It reminds us that nothing is random. Every single effect you see in your life has a cause behind it, and every cause you create will have an effect. This is how you shift from being an effect of your circumstances to becoming the cause of the life you want. And finally, the principle of gender. Now, to be super clear, this has nothing to do with physical gender. It's about 2 fundamental types of energy. It suggests that all creation, mental or physical, happens through the interplay between a masculine, assertive energy and a feminine, receptive energy. True creativity comes from balancing the two. Okay, now that we have the 7 principles, we need to talk about a few common traps. I mean, a map is only useful if you know how to read it correctly, right? So let's make sure we're on the same page.
So here's the bottom line. These principles are tools for mental training. They are not magical shortcuts. Mentalism is about mastering your own perception and how it creates your experience, not just wishing for things to appear without any action. And polarity is about consciously shifting your focus along a spectrum, say from fear towards courage, not just flipping a switch and pretending the fear is gone.
All right, let's make this practical. A map is totally useless if you just stare at it. You have to actually use it to navigate. So here are a few real-world examples of how you can apply these principles starting right now.
So, here's how you could use this map. At work, with a missed deadline, instead of blaming traffic or your coworker, you can use cause and effect to take ownership. In a relationship, feeling frustrated? Use polarity to consciously shift your focus toward its opposite, understanding. Trying to build a new habit? Use vibration to focus on the feeling of energy you want, not the feeling of effort you're dreading.
To make this super real for you, right now, here is one simple thing you can do today. And this isn't about trying to change anything. It's just about starting to see the map in your own world.
It's this simple. Pick one of the principles to be your principle of the day. Let's say you pick rhythm. Your only job for the day is to just notice it. Don't try to manage your energy levels, just observe the natural ebb and flow. Notice when your focus is high and when it's low. That simple act of detached observation is the real first step.
So, we've covered the map, but the territory is your life. These principles are just a guide. The real exploration, well, that's up to you. In our next explainer, we're going to get into the art of mental transmutation, and you can find the whole series in the playlist.